Is Victor Osimhen the man for Erik ten Hag's Manchester United? The Nigerian has contributed a staggering 17 goals in 16 appearances in the league this season, as well as scoring once in the Champions League. But what is the profile of Victor Osimhen, his strengths and weaknesses, and how would he fit in at Manchester United? So let's start with Osimhen's strengths. For me, his biggest strengths are his movement, his recent finishing record, and his ability to tie up an entire back line. Osimhen's movement is elite tier, and this is really the main way that a forward is able to tie up an entire back line. People might ask what I mean by tying up multiple defenders, and it's simply drawing their attention throughout the game and playing in the spaces where they are most vulnerable. For example, let's look how Osimhen would catch the attention of a fullback. It's through his comfortability playing in wider areas. The centre forward loves to drift into wide areas, as shown by this season's heat map, making runs in behind fullbacks and attacking the channels. This is especially effective in transition, pulling apart the rest defence and offering a real threat on the counter. In terms of central areas, Osimhen likes to occupy the space between the two centre backs, as most centre forwards do, making constant runs and drawing the defence apart, resulting in him either receiving the ball or taking the defender's attention away from other attackers. Now, up until 2021, Osimhen had always underperformed his expected goals. Nothing major or concerning, but he was roughly equal in his projected tally. Over the past 2 seasons, Osimhen has started to overperform in these metrics, highlighting an improvement in his finishing rate, but not to an extent where sustainability becomes a question. The forward has a complete range of finishes. His aerial ability in particular is a major strength, and his movement when close to goal is something that really impresses me, constantly pulling away from markers and allowing him to hit a ridiculous 4.12 shots per game, with an average shot distance of 12.7 yards. Against low blocks, Osimhen's movement and his occupying of defenders is a major tool in breaking them down. And once this happens, he is just as lethal in transition. Now onto the aspects where I think that Osimhen doesn't rank as highly, and that's in his link-up play, creation, technical ability in general, and his offside record. Osimhen really struggles in link-up. It's more than fair to say that it's not his profile, ranking extremely poorly for passes completed, and touches in general. Due to his glaring absence in build-up, Osimhen can go large spells in matches without being involved in play. However, the importance he brings with this is that it allows his teammates more space in build-up. I see Pep Guardiola talking about this often and how he doesn't like his centre forwards to drop deep and look for the ball, but rather to trust that his teammates will find him. But you can't underestimate the value of creating numerical superiorities in the Premier League, with a striker who excels in link-up, not only outnumbering defenders but also dragging the opposition structure apart. And this is my worry with Osimhen. To have a profile like this, in my opinion, you need to have a near enough perfect build-up structure, which will give him constant supply. And for Manchester United, I'm not sure that's the case as of yet. Osimhen has formed a nice partnership with Kvaratskhelia this season and has contributed to 3 assists, but the majority of his creation stems from drawing fouls, dribbling, and his defensive actions rather than with his passing. And don't get me wrong, this is definitely useful, but it just highlights how he struggles with link-up. Osimhen's offside record has always been poor, but that's his profile, playing on the back line and looking to make runs in behind. It's not so much a weakness because it's how he creates a lot of chances for himself, but it's definitely an area for improvement in terms of his timing. Now, how would Osimhen affect the dynamics at Manchester United, who have had a centre-forward profile that excels in link-up and playing deep for the majority of the season in Martial and Wout Weghorst? The most logical way is to look at how he's worked with Kvaratskhelia and make a prediction of how it would work with a player like Marcus Rashford. The Georgian has worked nicely with Osimhen, receiving the ball on the touchline and looking to drive inside, which is exactly what Rashford likes to do as well. And when looking at the shot numbers, Kvaratskhelia and Rashford rank very similarly for both shot total and shot distance, which indicates to me that Osimhen and Rashford could definitely work well together in this regard. And this is fundamental as Rashford is Manchester United's most prolific player currently. But Kvaratskhelia is much more of a creative player than Rashford, and this is huge for getting the best out of Osimhen in the box. This is definitely a major concern of mine, as currently Antony's creative numbers have also diminished, which would put increased reliance on the likes of Fernandes and Eriksen to create, as you're not getting it from any of the front 3. In summary, Osimhen definitely isn't my number 1 choice for Manchester United. He has many incredible qualities that will be perfect for a Ten Hag side in the future. But for me, Manchester United excel with a forward who specialises in link-up, and a more rounded profile is more suitable in my opinion. However, if Ten Hag decides to bring in Osimhen, I can fully understand why, and I can definitely see the importance he'd bring to the side. But I still have other preferable targets such as Harry Kane and Gonzalo Ramos. But let me know in the comments if you would sign Victor Osimhen at Manchester United or at your club.